All right. Hey, how's it, everybody? It is a 5 p.m. West Coast time, 3 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on the East Coast, and 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. I am Mad Statter, and this is Chatter with Statter. We have got Rick in the house letting us know that we have got the 1080p broadcast. I don't know how we've been lucking out with Twitch letting us in on the 1080p broadcast, but we seem to be sliding on in every time with that high end frequency, which perhaps they've expanded their technology to let little lowly folks like us get the 1080p all the time, or perhaps I'm just getting the luck of that draw, because I remember we used to sometimes only get 720. Anyway, all this babble about numbers and things and stuff just means we're coming at you super high end. If the blast is too intense, just fiddle with your gear right around here and you can dial it back for your systems. All right, so I have no idea what we're going to talk about today because I took a really long nap this afternoon. Turns out I'm an old lady. I went out and partied last night. I didn't even stay out too late, and I'm worn out today. So, since I partied last night, I guess we need to party again today. Let's get the party started. All right, there we go. Sorry about that wrong button there for a second. I'm all discombobulated. Rick, too much beer. Actually, I don't think it was too much beer because I did have to drive home, and the drive home was an hour away. So that really wasn't the case. But I gotta say, you guys, first off, I have to say, I missed all y'all on Saturday. Like, I really felt the absence of our cinema time together. Not to say that I didn't appreciate, like, real life interactions, but you guys, real life interactions with, like, real life people, they're kind of intense. I forgot. I used to go out all the time, and now I'm just this little homebody, and suddenly going out with all of these people and all of this live music and all of this everything. This was, I mean, I know that I mention I go out to a bar every now and again. Seriously, you guys, the bar that I go to, like, has 5 people in it, right? I mean, this was a bar with, 3 live bands, packed, flippin' flirpin'. I mean, it was it was a different situation than what I've been doing lately. So, yeah, Gina, so good to see you. So good to see you. And, Rick, last night was a quiet night too. Yeah, I bet, the little Saturday movie night kind of had a hiccup there. And I guess that's good. Everybody needs to change, things up every once in a while. But, excuse me, but I have to say, going back to my hometown, and seeing a lot of people that I had not seen in a really long time. It was just, this past week, I just have to admit, was kind of, what am I trying to say here? With one of my best friends, turning 50, and the 50 is a big, I don't celebrate birthdays, but even I recognize that turning 50 is kind of a big deal, right? Now, I joke and I'm like, I was all offended because that means I'm going to be turning 50 soon too, which is sort of true. I wasn't offended, of course, but either way, turning 50, gosh, you guys, for the youngins here who might be lurking, like, turning 50 kind of gets into your mind. Like, it really, you get to see how far your friends have come, or conversely, and this is what happened to me last week, you get to see how far some of your friends have fallen. And that was sort of the toughest part about this week and that trip to my hometown, was to see, like, yeah, some people should have left because this town was not good for them. But other people, they stayed. The town was wonderful for them. And I have to say, as much as I love to diss on Bremerton, Washington, my old hometown, and boy, given the opportunity, yes, I will diss on that town. Holy flirkin' snit, dude. the town has totally changed from when I lived there. Because when I lived there, the Navy was the main industry. Well, now it's basically turned into a bedroom community for the Seattle tech industry. And so it has completely changed. I mean, the apartment complexes, the downtown, it is so gentrified. And I will, as much as I begrudgingly admit this, okay, the downtown waterfront is kind of cute. Okay. All right. It's kind of cute. It was definitely not anything that you could call kind of cute back when I grew up. And oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Rick. I don't know why it's only bouncing on the bottom, but did you just throw an emote that like bounced? Because you guys, I've been trying to figure out, in case you didn't know, I've been trying to figure out how to get the emotes to bounce. And I sort of did, but it doesn't right. It's like just going on the edges. So we're getting there. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I finally figured it out. And honestly, it was thanks to Rick, because here's the deal, you guys, and you guys don't care, but I'm going to tell you anyway. So when doing all of the research for trying to get the bouncy emotes, everybody kept saying to use Streamlabs, but the Streamlabs instructions they were giving me just wasn't working. And so then Rick sent me a link to a video that I had actually already seen, but in his message to me, he mentioned Stream Elements. And suddenly I was like, wait, I have Stream Elements running in the background already. So if I can do this through Stream Elements as opposed to Streamlabs, I might be able to do this. And I know all you guys are just like, who aren't in the streaming world, are just like, what are you even talking about? Exactly. I don't even know what I'm talking about. All I know is when I finally figured out that I could maybe do it through Stream Elements, I started to fiddle, and it looked like it was working, but it didn't look like it was working well. And it looks like it still needs a little bit of tweaks, but all right, we're one step closer to the full-on bouncing. I mean, we do have bouncing emotes, I guess, but we're one step closer to like the good kind. I think I'm going to shrink them down a little bit. And then, yeah, exactly. I might want to slow down the emote bounce. Right. I've got some tweaking to do, and I'm not exactly sure what I need to tweak, but it does look like I need to tweak some things. And Andre, by the way, good to see you here. And we love it when I talk mad statter, even if I don't understand. Well, that's okay, because generally when I talk mad statter, I don't really understand what I'm talking about either. So at least we're on the same page. And so I'm very happy that that you guys are able to maybe throw down some emotes and stuff. And let's see here. What if I, because I got to do my favorite one. You know what I'm going to do. Can I do, we've got Prel dots. Oh, we've only got one. Oh, there we go. We've got other dots. All right. I want to fix it. I want to fix it, make it better. But right now we've at least entered the realm of it's kind of working. So yes. All right. So that apparently was a success. That apparently was a success for me. And eMusic, good to see you. What you missed was not a whole lot yet, but it looks like perhaps maybe I have figured out how to get the bouncing emotes to work for everybody. And they're not working beautifully well, but they're on the verge of working well. So feel free to bash all the emotes around today, and hopefully we'll get better bouncing emotes next time. And had I not taken a nap this afternoon, we probably would have had bouncing emotes this time too, or better ones. But instead, I got up, did some things, and then went back to sleep, and I thought I set my alarm, but apparently I didn't set my alarm. So suddenly it was a lot later than I thought, and we're not going to get into how late, but it was after 3 p.m. So yeah. And Andre, it reminds me of those little sing-along cartoons, right, where the little follow the bouncing dot with the With the words, right, exactly. Um, so yeah, exactly, Darlene. With a little help from my friends, and that's you guys, we will get these things all tweaked up and proper. But for now, we've got. Well, for now, I mean, if this isn't really the epitome of what we do here, right now we just have the half-assed bouncing emotes, right? They're half-assed. They're half-fast. Yeah, exactly. She bounces emote with her friends. Yep, I get by with a little help of my friends. I bounce my emotes with my friends. That's right. That's right. All right. So yesterday I did not watch the footballs, but I understand that the Seahawks are no longer in the runnings. And so, for those of you who do follow the footballs, who are you going to be rooting for next? Because it looks like I'm assuming that there's probably going to be some 49ers fans here because 49ers are going on to play somebody. And yeah, exactly, Rick. Careful how I say half fast. Yes, the sword of no mercy. That would be hysterical. Matt Statter, you are banned from your own from your own stream. Oh, okay. So the Bills made it too. Okay, so I'm going to go out on a limb here and assume that lots of folks are going to be rooting for the Bills this year. What with reasons, but I'm just wondering, for those of you who are out here, I know Rick and Darlene. They don't have, their Green Bay in the circular anymore. The circular in the round the Green Bay is not going to go any further, is what I'm trying to say. That's right, the Green Bay, because that's what they're called. So I'm just curious, for those of you whose team isn't going forward, what's your second team? Like, who are you rooting for? Or if your team is going forward, then I guess, are you rooting for your team? I know that Andre's got mixed feelings about the whole 49ers thing. Hey, SodaWax, good to see you. Testing. Is this thing on? You better believe it. It sure is. And Gina, no, the Packers, they're the Green Bay Packers, they're gone. They're done from the thing. So you can't root for them anymore this season, right? And Darlene, you'll still be watching. You're probably going to be rooting for the Bills. Yeah, I have a feeling that everybody will be rooting for the Bills. I think I'm going to be going for the Eagles because I know this person from Philly. This person from Philly actually is on the stream right now. His name's SodaWax. And apparently they're doing really great this year. And so I've caught the Philly fever. And so I'll probably be rooting for the Eagles. On the other hand, if I didn't have the Eagles, a reason to root for the Eagles, I probably would be rooting for the Bills because of the reasons and things, right? Right. Exactly. So hey, for all of you guys who have been here for quite some time, and if you remember our Andre, what a perfect question, because that's exactly what I was just about to address. If you remember the episodes where we've talked about deodorant, I was always talking about a local deodorant maker who makes a brand of deodorant called SodaWax. Guess who's in the house? The maker of that deodorant. SodaWax is the man behind the scent. So if any of y'all have any questions or complaints about any kind of SodaWax that maybe you would have purchased or did purchase, you've got SodaWax in the house, and you can point and laugh at him, or you can talk to him. But right now I'm going to point and laugh at him because everybody needs to know about the ha-ha emote. And so there you go. SodaWax, ha-ha emote is to be used only when you love somebody and you want to make fun of them. And so it's done with the kindness in our hearts. That is the rule for the ha-ha emote. The only other reason to use the ha-ha emote is if a bot comes into Twitch and wants to sell us viewers and followers. then before we ban him, we can press the haha emote as well. And that's exactly it. We will kill you with kindness, SodaWax. We will, because some people on this stream actually have bought your product. So, Andre has definitely bought a few, but I think he's also bought some Dr. Squatch, not Dr. Squelch, but Dr. Squelch is actually, that's a funny name. And eMusic, SodaWax, you can go to sodawax.com to find out about his products, but he's got deodorants, soaps, lip balms, toothpaste, and that's all I'm going to tell you. And yeah, the brand of SodaWax is not generally sold retail, although SodaWax, you definitely can correct me on this. But I think, oh, whoa, how did we do an explosion? Hey, Poppy Shaney, so good to see you, and thank you for re-subbing. And so let's see here. Okay, SodaWax is on Amazon now. Awesome. Okay. Also, SodaWax, you can buy it in person at the Pike Place Market. And they're all natural. The let's see, they're I don't know if they're organic. So you know what, SodaWax, you're gonna have to you're gonna have to come in and get that detail. But I can tell you, Darlene, that the ingredients for the deodorants are so natural that you could actually eat them. You wouldn't want to eat them, but you can eat them. So it's very, 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 okay, yeah, so not all organic, but definitely natural. Like I said, you can actually eat the stuff. And oh my gosh, my explosions are exploding. I don't know I don't know who just exploded the explosions, but awesome. Was it the resub, do you think, Rick? I don't know what came in with that explosion, but I'm super, super stoked that the explosion is, feature is working. And yeah, don't eat it though. Please don't eat it. Exactly. You can, but just please don't. So, yeah, so that is, okay. So I guess Boom doesn't do that, Rick. I don't know what's going on there. And, let's see here. Andre, thank you so much for the biddies. And yeah, SodaWax, I use SodaWax, almost every day. And the days that I don't use it, well, you can tell. And yes, eMusic, I do believe there is an unscented SodaWax. I'm 90% sure I own one. But yeah, SodaWax is definitely going to be the one who wants to confirm that. And so he's got a bunch of different scents. And then also there's two different varieties of deodorant that SodaWax offers. There's the original version, and then there is the sensitive skin version. Puzzycat, good to see you. Welcome in. We are talking about natural deodorant at the moment. We've got, we're so fortunate to have a maker of natural deodorant in the chat right now. SodaWax is his name. And so, yeah, we're just basically talking about the products that he's got. And I'm super stoked to see you here tonight. So, yeah, so I do believe that, well, anyway, what I was going to say is the two different types of deodorant. Oh, my goodness, Andre, thank you. Actually, thank you, Andre. I forgot for gift subbing to SodaWax, and then also gift subbing to Judo Punk. Okay, it must be the subs that are like causing the explosions. Okay, that's cool. That is cool. I'm doing great. Where do I send the check, Mads? That's so funny. You can always donate some biddies if you want there, mister, but you know, or go buy me a beer one day. And so basically though, what I'm trying to explain here, but I'm getting distracted by all the explosions of emotes, is that the two different types of deodorant, one of them has baking soda, one of them does not. I don't know how the baking soda one works. I have really sensitive skin. I'm very afraid of baking soda. Baking soda sometimes does not do happy things on my skin. So I use the other version, the sensitive skin version. So my commentary about how well the deodorant works has nothing to do with the baking soda version. It has to do with the other, the aloe vera, the Alleluia version. So just take that for, yes, the Alleluia formula is what I use. And so, so take that into consideration when choosing your products. If you know that you have baking soda sensitivity, you don't want the original line. You want the sensitive skin line. If your skin is tough and can do whatever, well, then choose whichever line you want. And Pacola T, Lure Queen, Indicar, good to see you. Could probably use some deodorant now coming from the beach. There you go. You and your lucky Hawaiian self coming home from the beach on a holiday weekend. Wishing I was you is all I have to say. And Gina, good to see you. Too gory over on Terry's stream. So you're hanging out here. Yeah. We are definitely not talking about anything gory. So far, the most gory thing we're talking about is how stinky underarms can get. And that's really not that bad of a deal. So let's see here. Andre, no, I don't want a PBR scent because that's what you don't want to smell like beer. You know, that's what you use deodorant for, so you can cover up your stinky beer sweats. And you're right, SodaWax. Sometimes the scents coming out from underarms can be a little bit scary. That is a good point. So, and let's see here. Pussycat, bees are responsible for the pollination of over 50% of the world's food. I'm not really surprised about that, actually. I have a friend who's a beekeeper, and some of his hives he actually rents out to people who need to pollinate their trees, their crops, etc. And so, he'll like move the little boxes to the apple grove or whatever. So, so yeah, they're super important. And Rick, exactly. That's exactly what I don't want to have happen. Why, yes, officer, I use SodaWax PBR scent. Honest. That is exactly it. That is the last thing I want to bathe in Miller Lite beer flavored soap and then put on the PBR scented underarm deodorant. Exactly. Actually, that kind of reminds me back when I was in college, we were hypothesizing that someone needed to come out with an incense stick that smelled like weed smoking. Because then when you were smoking weed, you could have your weed scented incense stick burning. And if anybody was like, "Are you smoking weed?" you could be like, "No, it's my weed scented incense stick." See, it covers it up by being this, by being the scent. And Pacola T, your hubby ran 4.5 miles and could definitely use deodorant. All right, we got to fast track some SodaWax over to the islands. That's what we got to do. And don't go for the weed cologne. No, I wouldn't go for the weed cologne. But back in the day, when I used to be much more prolific in my weedness, people used to say they could always tell I was coming because suddenly they would smell weed and then I would show up, which said to me that my weed smell preceded me. And I used to think that was funny. I mean, I still think it's funny, actually, but I didn't really know what they meant. And then one night I was at this party at one of my friend's houses and we were out in the yard. It was a bonfire. And suddenly I totally smelled weed. And I looked, and this guy that I know who's a total weed smoker, named Phil walked up, and I was just like, oh, that's what people meant when they said they could smell me coming, because that's what I could do. I thought that Phil was on his way. There you go. And Andre, exactly. Now in legal pot steaks, every place smells like pot. That is kind of true, actually. I was watching a YouTube video where some traveler from England or whatever was amazed at how everywhere in the United States smells like cannabis. He was just like, it's just everywhere. You cannot escape it. The smell is constant. And that's not necessarily true in all states and all locations, but it definitely is true, say in Seattle. Now in Spokane, you don't want to be smoking weed in public in Spokane. And I say this because Yeah. I may or may not have been busted smoking weed in public in Spokane. Okay, I was. I was at the edge of a park by myself, separated from the crowds, and I was on a break from roller derby and I was smoking some weed. And suddenly, like across the park, long way down the park path, I saw this like an ATV, and I was like, oh, that's weird. And then like the ATV definitely, you know how like you can kind of tell, even though you can't see the people in the eye, like, oh, they're coming for me. Like I could tell eventually, like, oh, that thing is moving with a purpose, and that purpose is me. They are coming for me. I could just tell. So I put the joint out and waited for them to get there because I was caught. They ended up lecturing me, and I was just like, oh, I'm from Seattle. Sorry, this is allowed. This is allowed in Seattle, and Spokane was like, well, we follow the letter of the law here, and it's not allowed here. Blah blah blah. And so while the one guy's like being all angry man and writing me up a ticket, the other chick that he's with, the other officer, she's like, so what are you doing here if you're from Seattle? And I was like, oh, I'm working a roller derby. She's like, oh, roller derby, right? So I'm just talking the other cop up about roller derby, and we're just, my girlfriend roller derby, roller derby, roller derby. And so finally, like the cop who was being all mean, he kind of gets annoyed. He's just like, I'm waiting for you guys to stop talking now. I've got a ticket to give her. And so he gives me the ticket, and I was like, all right, that's cool. And so then I show him my joint, right? It's just like this much left. And I was like, so do I need to hand over the contraband? And he laughed. He's like, no, you're allowed to have that much. If it was over an ounce, I'd need to confiscate it from you, but you're allowed to have that much. It's like, all right, So it was just $100 fine, Darlene, and basically it was the equivalent of drinking a beer in the park. It was just a simple infraction to be paid, $100 to city court. Didn't have to show up for anything. It was an open container law, basically, is what I got popped with, an open container law. And so what I did, and this is so petty of me, but it also was appropriate. The city of Spokane has a hamburger joint. Their hamburger joint is called Dick's. Now, the city of Seattle also has a hamburger joint called Dick's, but these are two separate businesses. They are not at all related to one another. I mean, they're both hamburger joints, but that's it. Spokane had their version of Dick's. It's a hamburger stand. It's super popular all over Spokane. Super popular drive-in. And one of the specials that you can get at Dick's is you can get a bag of 5 Dick's burgers, and they say, it's their advertisement, buy a bag of Dick's. Now, that's sometimes also used as an insult. It's like, go eat a bag of dicks, whatever. So they've like taken this as their slogan, go buy a bag of dicks. So, when I wrote the check out to the city of the city of Spokane for the $100, in the memo line, I wrote, eat a bag of dicks. Because I was being super petty and annoyed by the ticket. But I also thought it was a funny joke because it isn't really an insult. In Spokane, it's actually something they can go do. So, in my own little joke world pettiness, I told the city of Spokane to go eat a bag of dicks. They cashed my check. What they did with it, I don't know. But I mean, Darlene, yes, it was a quality toke, although it was not a $100 toke. That's for darn sure. Gina, what did you come back to? You came back to me telling a story about how I got caught smoking weed in public in Spokane, Washington. And even though weed is legal in Spokane, Washington, it's not legal to consume it in public. And so because I was consuming it in public, I got a ticket for an open container law. Basically, the equivalent of drinking a beer in public when you're not supposed to. So not a big deal. Yeah, I'm a huge rebel, Rick. Exactly. I'm a huge rebel. And so Andre, when you come back to Seattle, you're going to go to Broadway and eat at the Seattle burger joint, also called Dick's. I think you should. I think everybody who goes to Seattle should have a Dick's burger. There's several locations. The one on Broadway is probably the most iconic. And let's see here. Hold on. SodaWax. Angie says that Spokane Dick's has pizza? Huh, what? Yeah, exactly. Huh, what? I don't recall them having pizza on the menu. That being said, I would have been there. I've only ordered burgers there. So I would have only been like looking at the burger part of the menu. But really, they have pizza. Yeah, so Dick's in Spokane is very different than Dick's in Seattle, because Dick's in Seattle does not have pizza. Dick's in Seattle has let's see here. They have the tiniest menu ever. Their menu is basically, and there's really very little choice. You cannot really customize your burger. You've got your cheeseburger. You've got your hamburger, you've got your Dick's Deluxe, which I think has lettuce on it and no cheese. And then you got your Dick's Supreme or something like that, which is like a double with cheese or whatever. I don't know. So like you've got 4 burgers to choose from. And then you've got one size of French fries. You've got 3 different flavors of shakes, or maybe more than 3. And then you've got ice cream, like a scoop of ice cream in a cone. Like, that's the entirety of the menu for Dick's in Seattle. Dick's in Spokane, apparently, you can get a lot more stuff. And Darlene, are they at least good burgers? Yes, the Dick's burgers in Seattle are delicious. That being said, what I'm about to say is totally fighting words, but Dick's in Seattle, their French fries suck. They're soggy and they're gross. Their French fries suck. I cannot stand their French fries. And I know that if anybody like SodaWax, Picola Tea, anybody who's had a Dick's burger might come at me wanting to throw hands because some people are huge fans of the Dick's French fries, but they're gross. They're not cooked. To me, they're not cooked. Dick's cuts their own potatoes to make their French fries. So that's awesome. But when you make your own French fries like that, you need to fry them twice. You need to fry them to cook them, and then you need to fry them again at a higher temperature to crisp them. They only do the first fry. And so they're cooked all the way through, but they're just not crispy. And I just don't like them. Exactly, SodaWax. Dick's fries, meh. But I have gotten people very angry when I have said that the French fries are not to my liking. And so, Rick, I just saw your comment. At least they didn't name those burgers small, medium, and large. Very good point. Very good point. Oh, that's hysterical. Hey, Jason Park 85, good to see you. We are talking about Dick's hamburgers in Seattle, and we're talking about Dick's hamburgers in Spokane. 2 different places, 2 different situations. Dick's hamburgers in Seattle are better than the Dick's hamburgers in Spokane. Dick's French fries in Spokane are way better than Dick's French fries in Seattle. And I think Picola Tea mentioned, let's see, where was it? Up here. Where did we go? A deluxe bag. Yeah, deluxe bag of Dick's, please. Exactly. And I don't know if you really meant that, Picola Tea, but to me, the deluxe burger for Dick's is the best. Like, it's not the most expensive burger, but it's the one down that is, for me, the best Dick's burger. The cheeseburger is good, but the Dick's Deluxe really is what hits the spot. But the thing is the great thing about Dick's is it's really super cheap, and so it's just like, you don't know what you like? Order one of each. You're going to be out like $10. I mean, it's not like you're going to be breaking the bank when you go to Dick's, right? And so it's super affordable. And And, they're not, I'm not going to, people from LA are just like, these burgers aren't as good as aren't as good as In-N-Out's. And Pussycat, you're just waiting for the Dick's jokes to start, right? Well, here we are talking about Dick's, and now I'm talking about In-N-Out from California. The jokes kind of write themselves, but people from California think that In-N-Out burgers are better than Dick's burgers. I don't know if they can be compared, but what I can say is Dick's burgers are an iconic Seattle thing that tastes like nothing else. And so it doesn't necessarily mean that they're the best, because it just means that they are the flavor that you're craving, right? It's like it reminds you of way back when. And yeah, Andre, Dick's is old school. And even the newest Dick's, which is down in Kent, still replicates the old schoolness of it. I do believe that that Dick's does have one sit-down restaurant, and that's in Lower Queen Anne, right by the Seattle Center. But all the rest of them are just drive-ins, drive-throughs. So they got popular in the 50s during the hot rod, eras. And with the, you walk up to the window, you get your burger, and then you go hang out at your car, cruising along and everything. And the family that owns and operates these restaurants still owns and operates the restaurants. They still own the properties, et cetera, et cetera. And they are one of the first local fast food places to actually pay a remarkable living wage. Not only do they pay close to $18 an hour to start, they give you stipends for daycare. They give you stipends for transportation costs. They give you scholarships to continue your education. So even if you're like, Dick's Burgers is mediocre, that's fine. I'm not saying that they're, fancy pants, but at least you're supporting a local business that is putting their money back into the community and really helping out the people who work there. And so SodaWax, you're going to have salmon for dinner. All right. Enjoy your fishy fish, and I probably will see you later on at the bar, because that's where I go after this stream. So see you soon. Tell Angie I said hi. And yeah, it's very hard to keep a straight face, Pussycat, because when you're talking about Dick's Burgers and In-N-Out burgers, come on. And let's see here. So Andre's over here basically quoting the song from Sir Mix-a-Lot, Posse on Broadway, which might mean nothing to everybody else. But Sir Mix-a-Lot is a local Seattle rapper who, back in the 80s, one of his first hits was My Posse's on Broadway. And Broadway is a street on Capitol Hill in Seattle that used to have a major cruising scene. That's where people would go, to cruise the strip. It's a major gay thoroughfare, but it's also been just the scene for decades now. And Dick's is prominently located on Broadway and featured in that particular Sir Mix-a-Lot song. Now, if you're not familiar with the Sir Mix-a-Lot song, My Posse's on Broadway, you might be familiar with his biggest hit, which was Baby Got Back. And so Baby Got Back came out on the album after the album that My Posse on Broadway was on, and that shot Sir Mix-a-Lot into the stratosphere. So, yeah, Baby Got Back. And, yeah, Picola T, I have to decompress at the bar after the live stream. Not really. What I have to do... the reason why I go to the bar after the live stream is because I have to export the Twitch stream to YouTube. And then after I do that, I need to get onto YouTube, and I go through and I make the little if you've ever watched it on YouTube, you'll notice there's little chapters of when we start talking about what. And so I have to go through and mark off those chapters, but I can't do that right away because it takes about an hour and a half for the export and processing to happen from one platform to the next. And so for an hour and a half, I've got nothing to do. And so it's just like, oh, I'll just go down the street to the little Waku area and have a couple beers and then come back and go boop, 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 boop. And see, Honda, every time you go to In-N-Out, you ask for fries super crispy. See, I don't think you can do that at Dick's. Like, Dick's really does not customize. They're just like, yep, there's your burger, boom. And so I just don't think you can ask them to refry the fries. But I might try that. I'll have to be prepared to get all the looks in the world. I mean, side eye from the people behind me, side eye from the people behind the counter. I'm going to have to be prepared to get the look of, oh, hell no, we're not doing that. But you know what? I do want to give that a try because their French fries really would be good if they just cooked them right. And let's see here. Andre, you love it when Sir Mix-a-Lot played the Seattle Symphony and got the audience up as he sang Baby Got Black. Yeah, oh, absolutely. With all the symphony ladies trying to dance. Emphasis on trying. Not going to be all judgmental, but let's get real. Let's see here. So, okay, so Pussycat, you're coming in. Jacksonville won and Miami lost. Tampa Bay is tomorrow. Florida is looking good. Wait, hold on. Okay, all right. The chatter has just officially shifted gears. Pussycat or anyone. Florida has 3 football teams? Okay, actually, first up, Pussycat, are you talking about football? Second off, Florida has 3 football teams? Fourth off, no, third, what? Florida has 3 football teams that are still playing? And Picola T, actually, yes. That's exact. If you've been to Dick's, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. This is what you're getting and you're gonna like it. That's basically, I mean, there are rules, when you go to Dick's, it's like you pay in cash, you have the cash ready. You don't, because it's an outdoor situation, you never put your hand off the cash because the cash is going to blow away. There's a lot of little things that you have to know to like be Dick's savvy. God, that just sounds so wrong. But, so yeah, if I'm going to ask them to do something special, I'm going to expect a serious, what kind of attitude, but whatever, I'll risk it. And, Andre, they're going to pull my local card. Exactly. They're going to pull my local card if I ask them to fry them again, but I'm willing to risk it. I'm willing to risk it. Because who knows, if they double fry their fries, I might actually, think that their fries are delicious and start telling people to eat their French fries as long as they double fry them. On the other hand, if they pull my local card, I will be sad. And if any local institution has the power to pull the local card, it would be Dick's. See, Honda, video it. That's a good idea, although then I have to wonder if I want to video it, like, should I let them in on the fact that I'm going to be videoing it and what I'm going to be asking them? Should I do it just candidly? Should I have somebody else who's working the camera while I do it? Because it's kind of awkward if you're like videoing them and ordering, But that's a really good idea, actually. Yeah, exactly, like a candid camera thing. Seriously, and I kind of do want. I should find somebody to come work the camera while I do that, because for real, I know it sounds absolutely innocuous. Like, what? You're just asking them to make your French fries crispy. No, you're asking them to change the way they do business. You're asking them to change the way they've done business for the last 70 flippin' years or whatever. So, yeah, I don't really know. I don't know how open they'll be to that suggestion. And, yeah, exactly. GoPro time. I got it. Yeah, I'll just like fasten it to I'll attach it so they maybe don't even notice. Totally. And Andre, the rich might flaunt their clout, but they do not ask for double fry their fries. Precisely. And speaking of the rich might flaunt their clout, seriously, you guys, Bill Gates is a regular at the Capitol Hill Dick's. Like, people see him there standing in line at 11:30 at night in the rain. I mean, Bill Gates is a very distinct looking guy. You know Bill Gates when you see Bill Gates. And, he doesn't even, when he wants a Dick's burger, he goes and gets one himself. Like, he will stand in line at the drive up or the walk up in the rain, cold, in his windbreaker and his little glasses, waiting for that burger. And Pussycat, exactly. He's the biggest dick. Actually, that in the Seattle area, I think that's reserved for Jeff Bezos, actually. Jeff Bezos is really the one that gets the look. Bill Gates gets a little bit of a pass for some reason. I don't know why. But Jeff Bezos is the one that really gets under the skin of the folks who've been in Seattle for a very long time. I guess Bill Gates has been in Seattle and rich for so long, that it's just oh yeah, he's our secret. He's our East Side secret. But Bezos is a different, he's a different one. Bezos is the biggest. He's the biggest dick. And, yeah, exactly. Andre, precisely. I ask for double fried fries and suddenly the SPD comes in protecting private property and hauling me off, precisely pepper spraying me in the face. How dare I? And, Bacola T, Howard Schultz is the biggest. It depends on the day of the week. You're right. The two that compete, as far as people are concerned in Seattle, the two biggest that compete for that award would be Howard Schultz and Jeff Bezos. For those of you who aren't familiar, Howard Schultz is the owner of Starbucks. And he's a piece of work. Yeah, he's a piece of work. So yeah, Jeff Bezos and Howard Schultz are neck and neck for that. Bill Gates, I don't know if it's because he's got so many, gifted things and he's got so many foundations that are trying to do stuff. Well, he seems to get cut some slack. Does Bezos eat at Dick's? I don't know. I've never seen a picture of him eating at Dick's. As opposed to the infinity pictures I've seen of Bill Gates eating at Dick's. I don't know if Jeff Bezos eats at Dick's. And hey, Bonzo FNR, good to see you here. I don't know what Dairy One means, but that's okay. You are here joining the chatter box, the Statter box, Chatter with Statter. I'm Mad Statter, and you're part of the crew now for saying some things and stuff. And let's see here, Darlene, there are plenty of biggest dicks, but I could name some, but I won't. Yes, and that is fine. You definitely should not. The only reason why I feel comfortable mentioning these two men is because it seems to be universally agreed upon that Bezos and Schultz are, well, you know what they are. It comes as no surprise to anyone. And Jason Park, is there a popular cheese restaurant in Seattle? Let's see. Oh, Bonzo Fur or FNR, Rashford or Jeff Bezos. I don't know who Rashford is, so I guess he's not as big of a as Bezos is. But I'm curious who he is, so I can judge him accordingly. And Jason Park, is there a popular cheese restaurant in Seattle? I'm not sure what you're referring to in regards to a cheese restaurant, but I think you might be thinking of Beecher's Cheese, which is in the Pike Place Market, and they actually make cheese, but they also have a restaurant in their Pike Place location where they serve sandwiches and they serve their mac and cheese. And the Beecher's mac and cheese is actually considered like the city's best mac and cheese. It's really good high-end macaroni and cheese. And so, So I think you might be thinking of Beecher's Cheese. I wouldn't consider them a restaurant per se, but on the other hand, I can totally see why you would consider it a restaurant, because they do have a restaurant. And Bonzo, okay, Rashford is a footballer who donates food to children in need. Oh, well, then he's not a dick. He just sounds like a great guy. He's not nearly like Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos is just Seattle's embarrassment, basically. And Andre, thank you so much for those biddies. So let's see here. Andre, Jeff Bezos resembles one of his rockets. He kind of does, actually. And yes, and exactly, Picola T. One of the reasons why Schultz, one of the many reasons, but one of the biggest reasons why Howard Schultz of Starbucks fame is considered one of the bigger Seattle dicks is because we lost our Seattle Supersonics, our basketball team. He thought that he was doing something smart, and we ended up not having a basketball team anymore. And a lot of people, well, they still resent him for that. Now, I've heard, so folks, if you've heard something other, and if you know better than me, because you see, you know that I don't know a lot. I heard word that Seattle's getting a basketball team like next year. Does anybody know? Is Seattle getting a team? Because I've heard scuttlebutt that it's like, oh, it's totally happening. But it's like, if it's totally happening, I would like to think I would be hearing more about it. So I'm kind of confused about that. And Jason, you think Beechers sell their frozen foods at Target? Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Beechers. Yes. Not only, oh, you're 100% right. You know that name because of Beechers. They do. They sell their mac and cheese, the frozen stuff. You can get that stuff at Rite Aid drugstore. You can get it at Target. I'm sure you can get it at Walmart. You can get the frozen Beechers mac and cheese. I think they've even got a gluten-free version too, at almost any grocery store. But I can only assume that like getting it fresh from like the Pike Place Market restaurant is probably better, right? Right. But I don't know because I've never gotten it actually. And let's see here. See Honda, speaking of restaurants, oh my God, that is so flippin' cute. If your sister walks by while you're watching my stream, she asks if you're watching Ivers. She can't remember my name. Oh, that is so cute. And you know what? Oh, see Honda, thanks for the biddies, the 200. Honestly, if she refers to me as Ivers, I am honored because Ivers is, to me, the most iconic of iconic Seattle restaurants. And the fact that she even associates this stream with that place, I mean, I've talked about it a lot, so I get why she would. Fills me with glee. That is just super awesome. And okay, Andre, coming in with the realities, which I kind of figured was NBA Commissioner Adam Silver called Seattle and Las Vegas wonderful markets, but denied rumors in June that the league will add a team in each market in 2024, saying at some point this league invariably will expand, but not at this moment that we are discussing it. Gotcha. Picola T, a basketball rumor comes up every year. It does seem to, but this year it seemed like it was a little bit more intense, so I felt like there might have been more truth to it, but because I wasn't hearing it in such official senses, yeah. And let's see here. Pussycat, the Falcon 9 Heavy just blasted off tonight from the Cape. You saw it from your front yard. Oh, wow, dude, that's so intense. That is so intense. And Andre, you think you're going to draw the line at eating gooey ducks. That's okay. I've never eaten a gooey duck, so don't worry about that. But also, gooey ducks are very, very, very difficult to prepare. And in fact, I was watching a YouTube show where a Seattle chef was going through and talking about gooey ducks and how, where they're harvested and how they're harvested. And then the chef from Seattle said the best place to go get gooey duck, the best place that prepares the best gooey duck is this random Chinese food restaurant in Shelton, Washington. Well, Shelton, Washington is probably 2 hours away from Seattle, and it's it's 2 counties away. It's on the Olympic Peninsula. It's way west of Seattle. it's a cute little logging town or former logging town. But basically, if a chef from Seattle is like, you got to go to Shelton to get the good stuff, I would not bother eating gooey duck when you were in Seattle either. Not even. And so let's see here. Pecola Tea Beachers also has a takeaway at SeaTac Airport. That doesn't even surprise me. And eMusic, Seattle Storm, that's a basketball team. Yes, except for it's wait, is it the women's basketball team? Or is that the Rain? Gosh, eMusic. Okay, somebody else who knows what they're talking about. Okay, Pecola Tea, that is the WNBA. Okay, so now, Pecola Tea, who are the Rain? Because for a second, I thought the Rain was our WNBA team. But I also know that I don't know. And Andre, why do we need a basketball team? We're not Portland. Well, we need a basketball team because we used to have a basketball team. And when your city used to have a sport and then it gets taken away, it's kind of annoying. Also, when your city spent a bunch of money building a new facility for your basketball team, and then just a few years after that facility was completed, the basketball team is taken from your city's just like, well, what did we do that for? And Elaine, good to see you. And let's see here. Yeah, Andre, yeah, you're from Oakland. They take all our teams. Right. Well, no, the Rain isn't the soccer team because that's the Sounders. And the Rain actually was I thought, Pecola Tea, am I hallucinating sports teams? I thought that we had a sports team called the Seattle Rain, and I thought it was the REIG, like the ruler reigns over the land. I am so confused about who the Flying Fork. Does the Seattle Rain even exist? Okay, but the Storm is definitely the WNBA. All right, so I wasn't totally wrong about that. No, I don't think the Rain is the soccer team because that's the Sounders. I mean, unless we have... Oh, wait, do we have a women's soccer team? Maybe the women's soccer team is the Rain. That would make sense because I think we do have a women's soccer team because I feel like Megan Rapinoe, or whatever her name is, plays for us. See, I don't do sports ball very well. I'm a roller derby girl. Okay, cool. Andre, the Rain is the women's soccer team. Okay, cool. Excellent. Yes. And the Rain is pretty good, apparently, because it's got Megan Rapinoe on it or whatever. And yeah, Pecola Tea. Yes. Okay. I am really good about making things up and getting things confused, and this was one of those times. So yes, the Storm is our women's basketball team. We have no men's basketball team. And then the Rain is our women's soccer team. Sounders are our men's soccer team. The Sounders are, I don't know if they're very good, but I do know that they sell out their stadium quite a bit. So Seattle is definitely a football town. And when I say football town, what I mean actually is a football town, a soccer town, just as much as it's a football town. In fact, I dare say that the rivalry between American style football and European style football, those two fans are generally not the same fans. And let's see here, Andre, what would you name the new Seattle basketball team? The Seattle Freeze? Well, I can appreciate that logic because the Seattle Freeze is actually a thing. For those of you who aren't familiar, the Seattle Freeze is what people who move to Seattle complain of, about how the locals are just not friendly and not very open to newcomers, and it's been nicknamed the Seattle Freeze. And trust me, it does exist. But no, I think honestly, I really truly believe, and obviously I have no clue what's going to happen, but I feel like people want the Sonics back. Like, they want the Sonics. They don't want the Freeze. They don't want the Twinkle Toes. They don't want the Amazon Barbarians or whatever. They want the Sonics. They want the Sonics back. I feel like if we got our basketball team back, it would again be the Sonics. Obviously, I don't know what I'm talking about, but okay, so Pacola T, Seattle retains the rights to the Supersonics name. Yeah, I really do feel like if the basketball team came back, it would be the Sonics. It just would be. And granted, Seattle, Seattle named their basketball team after, the jet industry, Boeing and the like, the airplane industry. And granted, the Boeing plant that was in Renton back when the Sonics were named doesn't really produce a whole lot anymore, but the Boeing plant up in Everett sure as heck does. And so it still would be appropriate to call this area's basketball team the Sonics. And then when they're winning, then we call them the Supersonics. And Gina, what happened to them was they got sold to Oklahoma, basically, much to the chagrin of all of the people in Seattle area. The owner of the team, who also is the owner of Starbucks, Howard Schultz, he got a bee in his bonnet and ended up selling the team to Oklahoma. And that is why Howard Schultz is one of the biggest dicks in Seattle. Yeah, they're the Thunder now. Exactly. And yeah, exactly, Andre. Bezos would bring in a basketball team, but he'd name it the Primes. Precisely, exactly. And it's just like, go away, Mr. Bald man. And actually, I don't have a problem with bald men. In fact, I think bald men are kind of sexy, but I don't like Jeff Bezos, and so I had to pick on him for some reason. And that wasn't a good reason, I know, but he just makes me go, and let's see here. Let's see. So, let's see here. Andre, well, they could be the subsonics because Boeing doesn't make any supersonic planes anymore. Well, true, but like I said, they're only considered the supersonics when they do really well, which I think, like, they only have earned the name Supersonics, like, I think 3 seasons of their entire existence. So, let's see here. Yes, Rick, exactly. They were not allowed, according to Pacola T, we still own the Sonics name. So yeah, the Oklahoma Sonics does not exist. And that would just be really weird. I mean, like, what does Oklahoma make that's Sonic other than like the winds that go whistling down the plain? And Darlene, exactly. Yeah, Yul Brenner was actually kind of a sexy guy. I mean, he was super old by the time I started thinking dudes were sexy, but pictures of him, hey man, yeah, back in his day, he was a cutie. And let's see here. Okay, Pussycat. What you got for me? Last week, a 15-ton orca whale washed up on Flagler Beach and died. What's the orca doing off the coast of Florida? I don't know exactly. That sounds odd to me because generally speaking, from my understanding, the Atlantic-based orcas are usually more north than Florida. But orcas are in waters throughout the world. I just thought it was generally colder waters. But I don't know, Pussycat. I might have to go down a little rabbit hole about that. So, yeah, I don't think that's what I'm saying. It's like, I know that they're in Atlantic waters, but I've never heard of them in Gulf Coast waters. I'm not sure which part of the Florida waters you're on. I can't remember. No, you're on the Atlantic side. And so, but down in Florida, like the Atlantic is much warmer than the Northern Atlantic or the Pacific. And, Rick, right. Did SeaWorld let them free? Right. Did they? But yeah, that's a really good question because I've always been under the impression that orcas, the little that I know and the little that I've shared with all y'all has indicated that orcas like the colder waters, and colder waters aren't what Florida is known for. And so I'm guessing that, okay, so Andre's coming in, but I'm guessing it was just a very ill orca that wandered away from its pod and ended up not in a good place. But let's see here. Early Wednesday morning, someone spotted a rare sight for Florida. A killer whale over 20 feet long had beached itself on the state's northern Atlantic coast. The first orca whale to beach itself in the southeast U.S. in nearly 70 years. Wow. It died shortly of an illness on Palm Coast. And, okay, all right. Yeah, exactly, Pussycat. You thought that SeaWorld released it secretly. Absolutely, absolutely. And Darlene, yeah, with some of the climate changes and storms, they're saying more orcas and sharks are being found in spots not normally found. Right, that makes sense. And I'm thinking that, I'm guessing, given the fact that it died shortly after it beached itself, that it was an ill whale. And so, yeah, oh gosh, Pussycat, yeah, so just basically within walking distance practically of your house, 5 miles north of your house. Wow. Right. And so let's see here, Andre coming in with more facts. Officials don't know the exact age of the near geriatric female orca that was stranded on the beach. Female orcas typically live about 50 years, but reach 90 in the wild. While it's too early to say what exactly caused her death, there were signs of illness. No signs of human interaction or trauma, so that's kind of good. Illness is a common reason for that whales become stranded. I'm curious if they took any kind of tissues for like necropsies, you know, an autopsy. Only it's not an autopsy when it's an animal. I'm curious if they were going to do any, you know, testing to see like what was wrong. But instead of talking about sick whales, what I'm going to do right now is say, hey, Kayla. Hey there, Terry in Scotland. Hey there, Raiders. Come on in. I don't even know how to begin to tell you what we've been talking about. I mean, we started out with dicks, but not the dicks you're thinking of. The dicks that we're talking about was hamburgers. We have since moved on to basketball. And now we're talking about killer whales because it totally made sense at the time. Yeah. So there you go. Now you're all caught up, or something. Yeah, exactly, Andre. We were talking about a bag of dicks for a little while, but now we're talking about a sick orca on the Florida coast. And, oh, that's right. And we were talking about natural deodorant for a little while. Our friend SodaWax came in. SodaWax is the purveyor of natural deodorants that I've spoken of before. And SodaWax decided to pop into the stream and say hello. And so, yeah, we talked about natural deodorant. We talked about a lot of different stuff. So, yeah, and it all made sense at the time. But then when I'm like, trying to weave back what we did, I don't really know how we did that. And Kayla, yes, your Niners won the playoff game against the Seahawks. That is true. They did, but I can tell you this right now, Kayla. All of the scuttlebutt the Friday prior to that game with the 49ers, every single place that I was, at in Seattle where people were talking about the game, not one person thought that the Seahawks were going to beat the 49ers. Every single person was just like, I just hope it's a good game. I just hope it's a close game. I just hope we at least give them a run. Not one person had faith that the Seahawks were going to beat the 49ers. And so that loss was actually expected and totally, not even... And Terry, no, we did not talk about an orca's dick, actually. However, we came close because we were talking about gooey ducks for a minute. And gooey ducks, if you know what a gooey duck is, kind of looks like a really big alien penis. And so, so even though we didn't talk about an orca's dick, we did talk about a sea creature that looks like one. So is that close enough for the bingo card? Is that close enough? And Andre, yes, it was a miracle that the Seahawks made it to the playoffs. I think, don't we? I think the Seahawks get like 5th pick in the draft or something because our team is so crappy. Like the earlier you get in the draft, the crappier your team is, right? So like we managed to both get to the playoffs and then also get a really good draft pick next round, which just doesn't even make sense. But all right, there we go. Okay, well now we're talking about whale penises. Andre's coming in with some facts that I did not know. You do know when they hunted whales, they made blue whales' penises into golf club bags. No, I didn't know that. Oh my gosh. And by the way, you guys, I know this particular topic is a little riskier, a little more risque than the words and the topics we normally discuss on Chatter with Statter. So if you're busy clutching your pearls at these topics, I am sorry, I apologize. It is a little bit of the blue room tonight, as Terry pointed out. And Andre, we got the 5 draft pick because we traded Russell. Okay, all right, I don't know. See, I don't know nothing. But it's a good thing that we traded Russell because Geno Smith, he's our new quarterback guy, and he's been doing great this year. And let's see here. Make sure this video on YouTube go unrestricted. No, I don't think it'll go unrestricted because all of my videos specifically say they're not made for children, and none of my videos are monetized anyway, and so I'm really not that worried. Not that worried about. And Darlene, I'm curious what the title of my stream is going to be on YouTube. Yeah, honestly, I am too. I'm actually leaning towards eat a bag of dicks because it's just so eye-catching, and it actually is a legitimate advertising slogan. Terry. Rick, how could you let it come to this? Well, just so you know, eat a bag of dicks is actually, not only is it an insult that you can throw at someone, there's a restaurant in Spokane. It's a burger drive-in, and they're called Dick's. They're different from the Seattle burger joint called Dick's. The Spokane restaurant Dick's has a special where you can buy a bag of 5 Dick's burgers for X amount of money. I'm not going to tell you how much because I don't remember, but you can buy 5 burgers in a bag. And they advertise it as buy a bag of dicks. Like that's their slogan for that special. And so it is a legit advertising slogan. And Pussycat, exactly. It can't be worse than I would rather be a dong video last week. I know. I chose that very specifically because I wanted people to go, what? And yeah, exactly, Darlene. Terry, you've got to know that Rick only can control the reins so much from where he's at. Once this pony gets a run-in, you just don't know where she's going to go. And Option, so good to see you. Need a t-shirt that says, I went to blah, blah, blah and ate an entire bag of dicks. There you have it. I don't have any merch. But if I did ever have merch, I feel like we could definitely make a t-shirt of that one. And see, Honda, the theme of this stream can be searching for Moby Dick. Exactly. Exactly. And, yeah. And let's see here. Pussycat, what's my preference? Dicks or dongs? Well, if we're talking about hamburgers, we're talking about dicks. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Oh my. All right, you guys. So, hey, let's see here. So last night I went to my best friend's birthday. Well, one of my best friends from high school went to his 50th birthday. And because of that, I figured for our Lono listening break, we could take a quick listen to his song, My Best Friend. And so we're going to take our Lono listening break. And we'll see what we talk about when we get back, shall we?
On the day we met, I didn't like the words you said. I didn't like the things you did, and I was so annoyed. But as the time went by, you caught my eye, and I realized I stood there in my loneliness. You I can't avoid. God watches over my friend. He lends out a helping hand when I'm not there. When it's all over and all is said and done, I will be here for you, my best friend. And you didn't laugh when all the class found happiness. In my hour of emptiness, you came and held my hand. When I felt sorry for all the things I thought of you, the awful things that I would do, I began to cry. God watches over my friend. He lends out a helping hand when I'm not there. When it's all over and all is said and done, I will be here for you, my best friend. Then it came that day when we would say goodbye, my friend, and have to go our separate ways. We gave each other lays. If it was meant to be, then now I see what you've taught me. I will never forget you, my best friend. God watches over my friend. He lends out a helping hand when I'm not there. When it's all over and all is said and done, I will be here for you, my best friend. My best friend. My best
All right, there we go. Every time I hear that song, I think of my best friend from high school named Perry, and that was the birthday party I went to last night. So, like I said, I felt obliged to play this song. Now, Pussycat asking about your kitty, Mr. Leo. I have not seen Leo. with my two eyes in a couple days. However, am pretty sure he's fine and dandy because I heard him today around 8 o'clock in the morning. I was still in bed in my bedroom, but I heard him come through the cat door. He has a very specific way of coming through the cat door. He spends an awful lot of time batting at the cat door to make sure nobody else is on the other side, I guess. And so after he's decided that it's clear, then he'll come in and then he'll scarf up all of the foods. So I definitely heard him, but I did not see him. So he is fine and dandy as far as I can tell, living up his best life, coming inside when he wants, eating the food when he's ready. And one day, hopefully, he will come into the bedroom when I'm in the bedroom. But so far, every time he's come into the bedroom, it's when I've not been in the bedroom. So, you know. And let's see here. So we're talking about California, it looks like. So yeah, I guess you California peeps, I know it's been a couple days since we've checked in. I know that earlier this week it was like super uncool down there. It was very, very wet. Are things still downpouring, or have they I won't say have they dried out a little bit. I guess what I'm really asking is it still falling from the sky? Or has the rain stopped? I can honestly say I haven't been hearing as much about it late this week as I heard earlier this week. And yeah, it was definitely, oh, okay, Andre, it did rain today? All right, never mind then. I guess it's still falling from the sky. And Gina, my kitties are doing just fine. They, one of them, Ashes, honestly, I don't know what she did. I don't know if she got into some Adderall or if she's smoking kitty crack. I haven't given her any catnip. I don't have any Adderall in the house. I have no idea where to get kitty crack. But the last 2 days, has been going insane. I mean, honestly, I kind of want to just throw her outside because she just needs to run off the energy. But apparently she's decided that the bath mat is her latest enemy or her latest best friend. I'm really not sure, but she has spent so much time in the bathroom running around chasing her tail and attacking the bath mat and then getting under the bath mat. And then the bath mat apparently is the best new toy. So, don't ever, for those of you who have cats, don't bother buying them toys. You know this, just get them a box or get them a bath mat. I don't know why all of a sudden the bath mat is just like her thing, but she is attacking it. And clearly the bath mat must die. The bath mat must die. So, Gina, shoelaces, don't even. I've actually, there's the sweatpants that I'm wearing right now have a drawstring waistband. When I have these sweatpants on the floor and then the drawstring waistband is visible, she'll play with it for hours. I mean, hours. I just don't get it. And Terry, that's exactly it. She has found a connection for Catterall. That is for sure. She has found definitely a connection for Catterall. I don't know how she's paying for it. I don't know if she's got, the kibbles that she's trading for her Catterall. I don't know. But that is exactly, she got the hookup on the Catterall for sure. And so let's see here. All strings are irresistible to felines. It would seem so. And, well, actually, that's not true. My cat, Dusty, he couldn't care less about the strings, but Ashes I will attack that. I will save you from the string. Ashes, if you are ever being attacked by a string, Ashes is the cat that will save you. Dusty won't, but Ashes will definitely save you from the attacking string. Yes, that is her job. And, oh, I love it, Rick. Our grand cats all like to attack plastic bags. Oh, okay. I've never let my cats play with the plastic bags because I'm always afraid they're going to get tangled in them. And now, all of the areas around here don't give you plastic bags anymore. They've been outlawed, so I don't have nearly as many of the plastic bags as I used to, which is really too bad because I kind of resent having to buy plastic bags to line my trash with, whereas the free plastic grocery bags that they used to give out for free were perfect size for lining my trash cans with, and they were free. But now I have to like buy bags to throw away, which I kind of resent. But I realize I also do that with my big trash bags, with my Glad bags. I do just buy the bag to throw the bag away. So, I guess I already do that. And let's see here. Jason Park, what kind of cats are they? Well, Leo, the stray cat that comes into my house and acts like he owns the place, he is a silver tabby. But Ashes and Dusty, the two cats that like actually belong to me, they are short-haired black cats. They're brother and sister, both of them from the same litter, and both of them are all black because black cats are the best cats. And yeah, there you go. E-Music, shall you send me a few hundred of your store plastic bags? Reuse, reduce, and recycle. Exactly. No, you don't need to, but thank you for thinking of me. The really ironic thing. Okay, now I'm about to get on a soapbox here, you guys. Sorry. But the real ironic thing to me about the outlawing of the plastic bags is this. So the plastic bags that the grocery stores used to give out for free are very thin plastic. They break really easy, and they really were kind of useless except for like as one-use stuff. Okay, so those have been banned. Stores cannot give those to you anymore. However, you are allowed to give out a bag. You have to charge a dime for it. But now the bags that they give out are they're still plastic bags. They're just a lot thicker and a lot heavier, and like a lot more material goes into them. So we've abandoned one plastic bag that they give out for free and traded it for another heavier, dutier plastic bag that we have to pay for. And they're not reusable, and they're not intended to be reusable. They're just a thicker plastic. They're just a thicker plastic version of the same bag that they're no longer allowed to give us. And so that just seems weird. And let's see here. Rick, we solved the buying trash bag problem. We just used all the other little plastic bags, chips and whatever, so we just take them out more often. Yeah, I use my trash is usually bags within bags within bags. And Terry, I love that, and I actually might steal that joke from you. That's not what we used to mean by a dime bag. Exactly. Next time I get charged a dime for a bag, I'm going to throw that joke down to the cashier because that's a good one. I'm stealing that copy. And let's see here. Yeah, Darlene, you had to pay 15 cents for a bag. Right. And see, the thing is, this is why I'm like very confused. So in Seattle, when you pay a dime for a bag, hey there, Love Pat. In Seattle, when you pay a dime for a bag, you get a paper bag. And I was annoyed by that, but I could still see that. But here in Burien, when you pay a dime for a bag, it's just another plastic bag, only it's a different version of plastic. It's not a plastic bag that's been banned. It's a legal plastic bag. And so it just seemed a little counterintuitive to me. Like, let's ban plastic bags and replace them with plastic bags. That just doesn't make sense to me. And Andre, do you have to pay for the bag at the pot store? No. You do not have to pay for the bag at the pot store. So let's see here. And so yeah, the reusable bags are good. And I generally try to remember, but I don't remember very often. And so, well, and then also actually, I don't even go grocery shopping anymore because I order my food on my groceries online, and then I go to the grocery store and then they do my shopping for me and they just put them in the back of my car. And you know what bags they use to put in the back of my car? Plastic bags. The kind of plastic bag that has been banned. So I still don't understand, like, what banning the plastic bag, what good did banning the plastic bag in my town do? I still can't wrap my brain around it because there's still plastic bags everywhere. And some of them are actually thicker and more indestructible and more likely to hang around than the other ones. Oh, well. Oh, well. And Pussycat, the thin plastic bags were not biodegradable. Yeah, but neither are the thick plastic bags. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, trading one plastic for another confused the flying fork out of me. That's all I'm saying. And Andre, the paper bag would break in the rain of the Pacific Northwest. Well, I guess if you like put them on the ground, but if you're carrying them or they're in your car, it's really not that big of a deal. But our job as citizens of the United States is to point and laugh at the people making the laws of the United States. And that's basically what I'm doing right here, is I'm just sitting here going, ha ha, that's silly. That's silly to practice to replace one plastic bag with a different plastic bag. But, everybody's a little bit silly. So there you go. And, e-music, Hawaii just passed a law, no more letting go of the balloons, bad for sea life. Yeah, actually, it's bad for a lot of things, not just sea life. In my neighborhood, maybe last summer, like 1,000 people got out of power because one of the Mylar balloons, like, had been released or got loose and ended up wrapping itself around the power wires and shorting out like this whole part of the grid. It's like letting off those balloons is not, is a bad idea for for humans and for sea life and for forest life and for all of the things around. Totally. It's just like, hey, let's go litter the air, because it's not like they're going to fall down to the ground or anything. Oh, wait, gravity. It's a thing. Right, exactly, Kayla. And this is why you don't even release the balloons in the air. Abso-flippin'-lutely. Yeah, totally. I think that's a great law that Hawaii passed, frankly. I'm sure some people are all, but, that was, to me, a good... Pussycat, what about the Chinese lanterns? Well, the ones that I saw when I was in Hawaii in June, because I actually happened to stumble upon, I think it was a funeral memorial, those were all paper lanterns. So the paper just, dissolves into the water. That being said, I'm not super familiar with all the varieties of Chinese lanterns, but the ones that I saw back in June that were being released on Waikiki were all of the paper lantern variety. So that's that. And let's see here. Kayla, you were watching a video. A lot of people had the balloons, and then all of a sudden the balloons all came back down. Oh, okay. Weird. That's very weird. And let's see here. So Darlene at a couple stores had to laugh for the produce area biodegradable bags, but then go check out and there's plastic bags. Right. It doesn't make any sense to you. Exactly. And, Jason, yes, the Mylar balloons can totally cause those power outages. It happened in my neighborhood. I think it was this summer, but it might've been the summer before. But time is all relative. So who's to say? And exactly, e-music. I was just about to say that. We are 4 minutes past the bottom of the hour. Chackity, 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 chat. Chattity, chattity is what we did. So thank you guys so much for all of the gift subs, all of the biddies, all of your resubs, all of your hanging out, And mostly, thank you so much for your patience about the particular topic du jour that may have made you a little bit uncomfortable. I realized we were talking about hamburgers, but it kind of, the chatter, it scattered. All right, y'all. I hope to see you guys tomorrow, Monday, for Andy Boomatai's Daily Pigeon podcast. We're gonna have a guest podcaster with Andy. Her name escapes me, so I'm not gonna tell you who it is. But if we're there tomorrow, we will all find out and we will all see each other. And if we don't see each other on Monday, we will see each other on Wednesday, 5 p.m. West Coast time for more Chatter with Statter. And that's exactly right, Jason Park. My cats are Halloween cats. Halloween is every day in this house. All right, y'all. Take care. We'll see each other soon.